Hi. Hey guys. Hey guys, I am back. Ooh, with another video. Let me just get logged in. How's everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How's everybody? Uh-oh, I always do that. Good to see you guys once again. There you go, Miss Goddess Supreme. Thanks for coming, Lady Lou. But yes, I am here. I am here. So I wanted to talk about this subject today. Here's Pastor Michaela with her natural dew this afternoon. Yeah. So Miss Goddess Supreme, I will need you and my moderators in this chat today. So please be very vigilant in the comments, if you will, please, madam. And since we only have, oh, here's Miss Virtuous One. Okay, good. So you ladies and April, good. 3 moderators, good. Moderators, I will need you guys today in the chat. So today I wanted to talk about feminism and the role that it has played in our society. And so first, while we're letting people come to the chat and everything like that, I want to first preface this by saying that this is the first time since my very first video that I am nervous to talk about a topic. I have super duper butterflies in my tummy. I have big butterflies in my tummy, and yes, so if I'm speaking very slow and very purposeful, it's because this topic is really important to me. It really is. So I'm not really, I don't know if this will be like a preachy kind of thing, you know, because I want to give you guys my, you know, Mickey, my real thoughts. So let me scoot y'all closer, but don't knock y'all down all at the same time. So this topic is a very weighty topic. My timelines on every social media platform that I have ever spoken on is, or every social media platform that I participate in is lit up with a lot of different opinions, a lot. And so I have been up for a long time. I think I went to bed at about 4:50, almost 5 o'clock this morning, because I had, you know, some meditating to do. I had a little bit of introspection and analysis and research and an eclipse to participate in. But yes, it has been a very, it was a very eventful night. So, Deacon! Sorry, guys. Sorry. So, yes, so I have been up. I have been thinking about this. I have been meditating on this, and I was not going to speak on this topic, but I was awakened. I need the other, so anyway, so I was not going to speak on this topic, but I woke up to this video, and it was a gentleman who, nope, not that, the other ones, Golden. There was a guy talking about feminism. And it struck me because I am not a history buff person. I'm not a person who researches a lot of different things. I just don't really, if it doesn't pertain to me specifically, if it doesn't, pertain to my... If it doesn't pertain to me specifically, then I don't, yeah, he's in trouble for that little stunt. Sorry. Let me turn on my do not disturb, y'all. But anyway, so if it doesn't pertain to me specifically, then I don't really know much about it, I've heard of Gloria Steinem, but that's it. That's literally the extent of my knowledge of her. I know she's supposed to be the queen mother of feminism and blah, 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 whatever. But I don't really know much about this lady, right? And we're talking about American culture, by the way. So anyway, I don't really know much about it because I've never really studied it or anything like that. But there was this video, and it made a lot of sense to me this morning. And so I'm going to kind of sum it up, basically what this guy was saying. So he basically said that feminism was funded by the CIA, which is, a division of our federal government here in the United States. And Gloria Steinem was basically a CIA agent who was hired by the Rockefellers and, the big money people in the United States to, spearhead this idea that women are equal to men. I can do everything a man can do. And let's make it all illegal if we say that women can't do what men can do. And so it kind of piqued my interest because I was like, wow, where is this coming from after all of my nighttime stuff? Anyway, so then he goes on to say that they did that, the government, the CIA did that so that they could get double taxes from each household. Before the feminist movement, there was only taxing done on one person in the household, which is the man, because men were the only ones that were allowed to work. And so since women wanted to be equal, fine. Okay, now you have to pay taxes as well. So that was double the income for the federal government and the wealthy elite, what have you, So that was one of the reasons that he claims that feminism was born, right? So it really made me think because I was like, wow. And he was saying that we as women, fell for the old divide and conquer, as he called it. And it made me really, really think because I was like, wow, did we? At first, we were at home with our children. We were taking care of our children. We were active in our children's lives. We were available for our children. We were available even for our husbands, for our families. And it was just amazing when he said that, the bing, the light bulb that went off, for me anyway, because this is what I preach and preach and drill and drill and preach and preach and drill on my channel. You don't need to go to work. You can find another way to go to work. Be home, be present, be, in tune with yourself. You don't have to be working like a man, as I say on my channel all the time. So when he said that, I was like, wow, that makes sense. I don't know if it's true. I wasn't born back then, but I can only imagine that you know, because in every lie, there's a partial truth, so they say. So it made me really think. It made me really, really, really think. Because as soon as mama had to go to work, as soon as mama was an equal, that's when the household started splitting apart. That's when dad started leaving. That's when men were no longer present in the homes. And because before this, all men, a majority of households had husbands, had dads in the home before the feminist movement, including black families. So when this happened, it was like, wow, okay, so what does this mean for us now? What does this mean for our family construct? You know, how is it going to be now that we don't have a dad here, you know? And I found it interesting. And so that was the very first thing I saw after I, you know, awoke and breakfast and all that. That was the very first thing I saw when I logged onto social media. Because for the past 3 days or so, the entire weekend, my timeline has been lit up with conversations about surviving R. Kelly. And, you know, people are cussing each other out on their timelines. And, I mean, families are going bananas, you know, cousins fighting with cousins. And that's why I have seen it all. I know more about my followers at this point than I really care to. And it's crazy because it has caused a discussion like I have never seen before. And again, like I said, I'm not someone who is very, I don't watch the news. I have not ever watched the news since I was a little girl because I recognize that I'm sensitive to the news. I can see a news story and be sad all day for the people on there, and I don't even know these people, but I'm sad for a whole day, week, because I'm empathizing with these people. Oh my God, I can't believe that happened to them. Oh. So I just completely stopped watching news. So I really don't know what happens outside of my world. If I don't hear from a girlfriend or something, I usually don't know, you know. But this made me pay attention. And usually when I get that little feeling like, you need to pay attention, I go with it, right? So I did. And I watched the documentary last night. And yeah, I watched it. And as you guys know, I'm a boy mom. And so I was looking at this through the eyes of a boy mom because I can't relate to the stories. Thank heaven, my angels, my ancestors, and everybody who has ever played a role in my life. I cannot relate to the ladies in the stories. I can't, you know. But thank goodness that I can't because I was like, whoa. It was deep. It was concerning. It was alarming. It was it was tough. It was tough to watch, but it was tough to also it was tough to also think about because I think I found the reason for my channel, for this platform, for what I do, because so much of what I do is based on your mentality. so much of what I do is based on mentality. And I've been preaching and preaching and harping lately, not knowing that I didn't even know this was about to come out. I had no idea. But so much of what I do is about mentality. You are enough. Your thoughts are enough. Rely on your own thoughts. Don't be swayed by men. Make sure that you spend time alone so that you know what your own thoughts are. So much of what I speak about is so that women can be empowered. I said a couple of videos ago, once women understand how powerful they are, the entire world will change. And I said this without knowing what I was about to witness. The idea that things like this even happen, thank you, Miss Shanita. The idea that things like this can even happen is beyond me. I never even, I couldn't even imagine having to go through something like that. So then to see other women telling their stories, even if it was false or whatever the case, because I don't know, but to see these women tell their story, just to hear what can happen to a child was so disturbing that I was just floored, So, but let's start at A. Like I always say, let's start at A. Let's start with the person, the adult. Of course, there are people on both sides. Well, he's the adult, he should know better. Where are the parents when all this stuff is going on? The girls was just being fast and they knew what they was doing. There's people on every single side of the story. But I was looking at it from the eyes of a boy mom because that's my reality. I can't relate to them, but I can relate to what if something like this had happened to one of my sons? Because it's but by the grace of the ancestors and heaven, or whatever goodness there is, but by grace, it has not happened in my home. And it's supposed that, thank you so much, Ms. Ether Gnosis. But by grace has it not touched me. But I was just looking at it from the standpoint of, had this single mother had she been able to understand that she was important? Had someone told her that it's okay to require your needs, that it's okay to request help, that you don't have to work hours and hours and hours and be away from your children and leave them to be subject to who knows what. So it is said that R. Kelly's mother was a single mom of 4 children by 4 different men. And yeah, had she, who was in her life before that, had she known that she was important enough to require a man to marry her, had she known that she was important enough to not have to lay down with these men just to keep them, had she known she didn't have to work so much and work so hard, that her children were important, maybe we would not have this dynamic today. It is said that he was molested by his sister. I can't even imagine how that is, and I'm not saying that I'm going to get into both sides of it. But that's from the very, because they started out with that story. So from the very beginning, I was like, whoa, this is like, because I didn't know any of this. I had no knowledge. I had no knowledge about his life or what he went through or anything like that. So to hear that something like that was going on in his home and nobody was even made aware of it was like, whoa, you know. Then, and the reason why I kind of believe that some of this was true was because this is an adult man, older than me, and this person cannot read to this day. How does that happen? If you are vigilant with your children, if you are able to pay attention to your children, you would know by the time they're 5 and 6, oh, he can't read. He's not reading well. I need to get him help, or I need to help him. But when you're working so hard because you have to support so many children because of decisions that you may have made or what have you, that's difficult to do. You know, that's difficult to do. So some of these girls may have come from homes like that. Is it because of feminism? Am I saying that all of this is because of the federal government? No. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Is it because of feminism? I don't know. Is it because of the federal government? I can't say that either. But something caused all of this to happen. And then to see my timeline, the way that it is right now. So many women that I've had conversations with, hundreds of ladies that I've spoken to, who have endured such evil. I never knew that there, you know, like I said, all the stories that I've seen on my timeline are amazing that people don't value their children more, that people don't love their children more, that people don't pay attention. People are not paying attention. They're not paying attention. That's why I know that makeup is a small piece of it. I know that makeup is a little, but it shows that I value myself. It shows that I care about me. Maybe it would deter somebody from, you know, saying, oh, okay, well, I'm going to test her and see if she's weak. If you're put together and you arrive in a place and you look polished and you look like I've taken time to care for myself and you look like I love myself and I spent time with myself and I know myself, nobody would be able to do those things to you. He would be deterred because he knows there's no weak spots in you. He knows that there's nothing that he can penetrate in you as far as a weakness. He's a predator. And I always preach about becoming the predator. You become the predator. Because if you know that your voice is not important, if you know that there is no one who will advocate for you, then that means you have to be in love with yourself. You have to be strong enough to appreciate yourself. You have to know that there's a reason for you being here. Oh, are we getting the snot going? Okay. So I need a minute. Let me put some sugar in my tea real quick. Man, you women are amazing. Women are some of the most resilient, some of the most strong, some of the bravest beings on the entire face of the planet. There is nothing and no one, no person, no nothing stronger than a woman. There's just not. For women to be able to endure that and still live to tell the story is beyond me. I mean, I've had several consultations with women who, we've cried together about, about this, and it's just amazing to me what we're able to endure. The resiliency of a woman is amazing. You ladies have to know that if something like this did happen to you, if you were a victim, you don't have to remain a victim. And I want you to take what I'm saying in the most sensitive way that I can say this, that I can offer it to you. You don't have to continue being a victim. You don't. I can see how something so horrendous can alter your mental state. It is understandable how you can feel powerless when in a situation like that. It's understandable how you can be confused and all of that. But just like people are saying, oh, he's an adult, he should know better. That's why I talk to adult women now, because a lot of women don't know better, even at the age and the stage that they are. People on these videos, you see the questions that are asked, and I'm like, what? My mind is literally blown by some of the questions that I ask. But I know that they are very serious because I have answered a lot of these questions in consultations with women. So I know it's true. If adult women are able to be swindled and manipulated by men, what would make you think that a little girl wouldn't be susceptible to the same thing? There are a lot of ladies who are stuck. So many ladies are stuck in what happened to me. Well, my mom did this, or my dad didn't do this, or they didn't believe me, or I wasn't able to have a voice or be heard. So many ladies are stuck in that one set of years or one day or one circumstance that they aren't allowing themselves to flourish, to thrive in the latter half of their lives. They are stunted. Ladies, I would offer you, please, if you have experienced something like this, seek help, seek counseling. If you have to get on medication, there is nothing wrong with that. A lot of women need to know that it's okay to go to therapy. Oh, thank you. Yes, the girls grow up emotionally arrested. Exactly. Like they can't even, and then this is another thing that, I was saying, if you need help, please go get it. If you need medication, it is okay to get help for a little while, Some women deal with postpartum depression. I know I did. And then, sometimes depression after that. If you have to go see a counselor, it is okay. It is okay to request help. Don't feel like because, I'm a woman and everybody needs me, I shouldn't have to request this and I shouldn't have to want that. That is so harmful. It's harmful to you and it's harmful to your family to not get the help that you desperately need. You don't even realize what's on the other side of your depression, what's on the other side of your sadness and your hate and your bitterness. You don't understand what's on the other side of it if you would just seek the help. If you just know that you're important enough to ask for help. He didn't even, as far as the story was given, there's nobody that's been murdered or killed or anything like that, thank goodness. But none of these ladies were like chained or anything. They were there because they chose to be there. And every single lady that did survive, every single lady that did escape said, you know what, I just changed my mind. I changed my mind and, oh yeah, see? Thank you, Miss Ether. Thank you so much. You are so sweet for those donations. I appreciate it. But they were not prisoners. They were prisoners, but they were more captive in their mind than anything. Most of them said, I just changed my mind. I just changed my mind and I said, no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. And I left. They just left of their own free will when they changed their mind. That's why I harp on mentality. That's why I harp on being feminine. If you are feminine, ladies, if you are feminine, then there's a space in your world for a man. If you are being a man and you're being a woman, then there's no space for a man to come in and help you. If you are not allowing yourself to be in your femininity, to be soft, to ask for help, to allow people to help you, if you are not resonating that way, then there's no way that a man can come in and fill that role for you. People say, oh, well, the dads need to step up and they need to be blah, blah, blah. But think about it. Think about it. If there's no space for him, where is he going to be? Where is he going to be? You know, if you are actively being a woman, if you are participating and paying attention to your children, situations like this cannot happen. They cannot happen. You know, seek help. Seek help. Learn to be feminine. That's why now, like I said, if I never do another video, now I understand why. Now I understand why. Thank you, Miss Kim. I understand why my channel was made. Because I'm, preaching mentality. Do your makeup, be feminine, be soft, be flirty. Because if you do that, then there will be a place for a man in your life. There will be a place for goodness and positivity to come into your life when you are actively being in that role. So there you go. It's deep, y'all. It is super. I don't know. I don't know how to feel or what to think, or I don't know. But what I do know is there are several victims all over the whole entire story. There are victims all over the from the start of the story to the end. There's victims like throughout the story, and it just makes me weep. Makes me weep for the women who don't feel like they have a voice. for the women who are afraid to even ask a man where he works. Where he works. There are women that are even afraid to ask a man where he works, but this man will not be afraid to ask you for what he wants. When you see that this man is able to perpetuate these sorts of things on Black women, and there are no repercussions, he's able to do it for decades without a penalty. But you still want to be the nice girl. You still want to be nice. You still want to think about his feelings. You still want to think about why is, you know what I'm saying? What will they think of me? Well, I have to be sweet. I have to be kind. You're still thinking about that when nobody even cares if something like this happens to you. When I tell you that nobody cares what your struggles are, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. Oh, man. Sorry. I don't say that because it's something I'm saying or because I don't care, but I'm telling you that no one cares. You could have the most unimaginable things happen to you. These parents were trying to get a hold of their daughter, and the police looked them in the face and said, "There's nothing we can do." A mother standing outside screaming for her baby. And nobody would help. Nobody cares. So you care. You have to care about yourself. You have to care about yourself. You have to. If you don't care about yourself, if you don't put yourself first, if you don't put your needs above all other people, you will destroy yourself. If you don't do that, it is the equivalent of not having any, it's the equivalent of suicide if you don't put yourself first, because nobody else will do it. If you allow a man to cheat on you, to beat you, to slap you, to spit on you, to make you request to eat, if you allow a man to do that, people are going to say, well, you shouldn't have did it. You shouldn't have did it. People are going to say, well, you stupid. People are going to say, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you allow a man to do unspeakable things to you, nobody will care. That's why it is so important to get your mentality down first. It is so important to understand that you have to be fiercely, fiercely, fiercely selfish. You know, you guys know that my daddy, my real dad, has passed on, and he has been gone for a number of years. My dad has been gone for a number of years, and I've always been thankful for him. I've always been grateful for him, always. He was amazing. I talk about him a lot on my channel. A lot of the things I say are his coined phrases, but he was amazing, an amazing dad to me. And in watching that yesterday, I understand. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to whoever decided to make this person my dad. I'm so grateful. I'm beyond grateful that he was my dad. Because if he was not my dad, I could have easily been one of those young ladies. Easy. I could have easily been one of them. But people think it's crazy the way I was raised, but I was raised that you don't know. Nobody is more important than you, ever. No, nothing is more important than my baby. She is the princess. If we're in line at McDonald's and I want something, my dad is gonna move heaven and earth to get it to me. I'm thankful. I'm so thankful that I'm thankful that I had him in my life, because I recognize now that certainly could have been me if it were not for that influence. But that comes from, he was a very vigilant father. He was always teaching, always preaching, always, there was always a lesson. And I used to be like, oh my God, Daddy, everything is not no freaking lesson. Why do we always have to talk about, you see, the lesson in this is, you see, she could have avoided that if she could have been, and I used to be like, oh my God, somebody save me from, but he poured so much of himself into me that I didn't lack anything. So when I started dating, it was only natural that I was dating sugar daddies, because I'm like, if you're not doing for me, if you're not treating me like this, there's no need for you in my life. There was no lack, So I am beyond grateful, because, yeah. Could have been a whole other story, And then some of these young ladies had dads. But they were so greedy, so fame thirsty. It was almost as if a lot of these young ladies were just offered up, like, oh yeah, here you go. Oh, I'm gonna get rich here. Okay. Sad. But so now I recognize, I think for a long time I've taken for granted the way I was raised. I have taken for granted, a lot of things, but now I recognize how really blessed that I was, really. I just didn't know. Eden. Eden said she just lost her dad. My condolences. But yeah, if you need help, get help. If you need encouragement, if you need, start to take your power back. Take your power back, That's all. Oh, look how dark it's getting. Y'all see that? Ooh, look how spooky it looks in the video now. Ooh. A lot of ladies had bad mothers and no dads that co-sign abuse. Thank you, Miss Mickey, sharing the wealth of knowledge. Yes, and some of us, because you know what? Being a mom is so hard. It's so hard, especially if you have more than one child. Okay. If you have more than one child, it is hard, because you have to balance the needs of this one and the needs of this one and the needs of this one. But it is a necessary role. Being a mother is a necessary role. If you have children, it is your responsibility to teach them. And in the video of the guy I was watching, he said that they wanted, the CIA wanted feminism to take off and to blow up like it did, because that would mean that the children would have to spend a majority of the time in schools being indoctrinated and being taught their way of thinking so that they can remain employees, so that they could remain subservient and remain subject to the wealthy, because the mothers are no longer teaching them how to navigate in the world and how to be, because you're so busy working and trying to support them and being their mom. You know, I really, when I was a working mom, I was lacking as a mother. I was so lacking as a mother. I was always at work, always gone. You know, you're never home. I can't, you know, Mama, you missed my game. And when my baby came to me and he was sad because I had missed yet another game, I was like, I'm done. I cannot continue to do this. I can't continue to be this way. And it was because I listened to my intuition and I stopped working. Exactly, poverty mindset can't elevate. It was because I stopped working and I changed my mindset. I did that for my child. I did that so that he could have a mom, so that he could have the best of me, so that I could teach him what I didn't get. My mom never taught me anything. My mom didn't teach me anything. And it may be because she didn't know. Maybe because she didn't know. Maybe because she didn't have the ability. Yeah. That documentary was deep. That documentary was super deep, I'll say that. But my dad was very purposeful in his teachings. He was very purposeful in his teachings. So I got it, you know, I got it. Thank goodness I did. But I recognize and I know that she did the best that she knew how, maybe. But it could have always been better. You know, of course, you know, people put a lot of pressure on moms. Well, they should have done this and the mom should do that. And, you know, they should have been teaching their daughters to be blah, blah, blah. But being a mom is hard. It is. And you may drop the ball, you know. One of your children may need extra affection and love and hugs. The other one may need for you to just tell them to do something. The other one may need for you to show them. Every child is different, and you have to learn your children as mothers. And that's hard because they're little people, you know. Even my 2-year-old is he's a little person now, you know. But I learned, you know, I finally learned his personality, and now we're potty trained. You know, I learned what motivated him. And then my 6-year-old, we're still navigating friendships and what those mean. And after this video, he's probably never going to have another friend over, because I'm sure parents are going to be like, oh, heck no, you ain't going over nobody's house, you know. So, I mean, I think this has awakened a lot of people, but I also think that it's caused a whole lot of conversation. I'll just say that. But being a boy mom and watching that documentary was so like, oh, yes, he's going potty. Yes, baby Fox is officially going potty. So, and that made me sad too. I'm like, but I know that he's ready, and I had to recognize, okay, he's ready to not be the baby anymore. You know, he's ready to be a big boy. And so I had to let him go and let him be a big boy, you know. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. I had to let him go and let him be a big boy, you know. Even though I didn't want to, I had to let him go. One of my 6-year-old, he lost a friend in the this last semester of school because this little boy was bad. Oh, he was bad. He was like Dennis the Menace, you know. And my little loving baby, he wants to be his friend, and oh, he's so cool, and everybody likes this other little boy, so he thought he could do it. So when he started doing stuff like the other little boy started doing stuff, I was like, he might not get spankings at home, but I'm gonna tear you up for this behavior, you know. So we had to navigate what friendships mean, and you know, how to, you know, discern when somebody is not necessarily good in your life, how to let them go without an explanation, how to, oh, thank you, Miss Angel, thank you, how to let people go, you know. So we're learning these things now at 6 years old. At 15, we're learning, at 15, we are learning that you are most important. I don't care about your friends. I don't care about what's going on. You are most important. If your friends start a fight, you have to remove yourself, because it could mean a slap on the hand for him, for little Caleb, but it can mean death to you. So you have to be smart. You have to be hyper vigilant, because though you are a boy, a lot of the police may not recognize you that way. You can look him in the eye, so he's going to see you as a man. Because you're a little more tan than he is, he may say that you're intimidating. So you can't do the things that your friends can do. When the street lights come on, you have to be inside, because we do live in a wealthy area, and you have to make it home alive. You have to make it home alive. We had this conversation. I had this conversation with him yesterday because of the video of the girl in the McDonald's beating up the black girl, beating up the Caucasian guy in McDonald's, and he tried to snatch her over the counter. And I said, "What would you do?" You know, to my oldest, and he said, "Well, I don't know, Mama." You know, and I said, "You have to remove yourself. You have to." Because a lot of people were saying, well, why don't, sorry, y'all, I'm trying to get through this. I'm trying to get through this in one piece. Why weren't the men protecting the girls? Why weren't the men stepping up and helping her? And so I was explaining to my sons, like, look how she was acting. And you have to know that if this was a black man and a white man, or a black man, it would have been different. It would have been different if she was a boy, because the police would have come with their guns drawn. The police would have come with their guns drawn, and it's possible that he may not have made it home, you know. Even if he was assaulted by the gentleman first, if that girl was a black boy, it would have been a whole different news story, because the police would have likely, gunned him down, because he would have been aggressive. He would have been aggressive. So It's sad. It's very sad that you have to have conversations with your children in this way. But you have to teach them. You have to empower them. You have to let them know that your voice is okay. It's okay for, you don't have to respect an adult just because they are an adult and you're a child. You don't. If somebody is doing something and you don't like it, you tell them that you don't like it. Teach your children that they need to speak up for themselves. That's why my children are friendly. My children are talkative, because they know my children are talkative. You know what that means? Oh, if I do something to this little boy, he gonna tell his mama. And baby, trust me, this right here is not what you want. If you want to see a serial killer, my kids better not get a hangnail at the hands of somebody else. If my kids get a hangnail at the hands of somebody else, I'm going to invent some crimes to do to somebody. That's why I teach my children to be talkative, because I want a predator to know, oh, I can't, not these kids. These kids know, because they going to go back and tell their mama. For real, for real. So I'm just saying. Yeah. You guys have to teach them, you know. And a lot of people, yeah, we snitching. I always tell my kids, look here, y'all better snitch. Y'all better tell people, tell me what's going on. They can't even have secrets among themselves as brothers. Nope. Ain't no secrets. I need to know, you know. So teach your daughters this. Teach your daughters that your voice is important. If somebody had told these girls that, maybe this situation would have never happened. Maybe this situation would have never come to be if they had been told that your voice is okay. I can keep my children with me 24/7. I can keep my children in a bubble. They'll put you in jail if you don't send your kids to school now. So I can't have them with me 24/7, but what I can do is give my boys the tools to use in my absence, because I know that one day I will not be here for my children. I know that one day I won't be able to be here for them, because I will be sleeping with the fathers and sleeping with the mothers. So I want my children to be empowered and to be strong and to be able to survive if I'm not here. And if more women, more mothers would give their children this message, would give their children their power, then stories like this would not have happened. And there you go. Right. Miss Lady J says she's never told her mom stuff because her mom would worry too much. And that's another thing. When they do come to you with stuff, you can't freak out all the time. But it's hard not to freak out when they're talking to you about, you know, stuff, and you're like, oh my God, this is my baby. But you're raising adults. Yes, it's your baby, but you're raising adults. And my kids ain't staying here all day life. Forget that. Y'all better make sure y'all know something. So, you know, I just try to teach them things that I wish I had known at their ages and their stages. So do that. If you don't have children, reparent yourself. If you went through something like this, or you had something happen like this, you have to reparent yourself. I've told a lot of ladies to do this. Okay, your mom, you know, sucked and your dad wasn't there, or both of your parents sucked and somebody else raised you or whatever. You can't stay there because you're not there right now. You know, if you stay there, then you're not able to live a full life. You'll live a life that you have to be closed off, and you can't be open to experiences and things like that. And, you know, I know it's going to be so many kids in a bubble now. If children were not in a bubble before this little documentary, Ain't nobody gonna be outside now. Nobody. And that's sad. That's so sad that we have to live in a world where we can't even allow our children the freedoms that we had. So I guess I'm gonna have to get a jungle gym or something in my backyard. Goodness gracious. Because yeah, and then I have to think too, like I can't go around killing everybody, because if something does happen to one of my children, then these other two need me. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So yeah, I just feel like feminism has taken our country to a new level of low, to a new level of just the pits, you know. I hate play dates. I freaking hate play dates. Everybody is all about a play date where I live, you know. Everybody wants, oh, well, let's just set up a time where we can meet and the kids can play. And I'm like, why can't you just come over? That's because I didn't know. I didn't know. You know. But then this is the thing. Like I said, people who are untrusting are that way for a reason. I'm not that, oh my God, my kids can't be blah, 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 you know, around these people, and oh, I'm not gonna trust them because I never knew. And I've never been that way. I've just always been like, I know that I've equipped my children at home so that they're able to handle themselves. And if they can't handle themselves, then I know mama can handle it all. You know, that's my thought process. But yes, feminism did destroy the nuclear family. Once you take the dad away, then you take the sense of power away. Then, oh, a lot of the girls, my mama was the single mom and she was always gone. So it was easy for me to be gone. It was easy for me to sneak out and she not even know. I got alarms on every window and every door. I got cameras. I got, what? Ain't nobody leaving. Ain't nobody leaving unless I know. No, no, no. Oh, thank you, Miss Inez. This is part of the reason I love you and share so much. I was raised by wonderful, loving parents, but I still learn to devalue myself. With every video, you and share empower me more. Exactly, exactly. Feminism and feeling like you're equal to a man is the worst thing that happened to our society since whatever. It's the worst thing that could ever happen. It's the worst thing that could ever happen. She said she planted rose bushes outside her daughter's window. I'm just saying, you know, because I know that my older son does not understand that I'm trying to protect him by being this way, by being, you know, what you doing? What you doing in your room? I'm all up under the bed. I'm flipping the mattress. I'm checking coat pockets. I'm all of that. I'm finna know. You better not have no diary or nothing you writing in, because I'm going to be on it, you know. But yes, let's speak to that. Being a strong Black woman. A lot of women are raised that you don't ever depend on a man for anything. You don't ever, you don't ever get your value from him. And I understand that. I do. But I also understand that if somebody else is able to do what I'm able to do, then I'm going to let somebody else do it. I'm going to let somebody else do it. I'm a woman, you know. She painted your door shut. Oh my gosh. See, I don't want to keep them hostage, but I just want to make sure that I used to be a helicopter mom. When I first became a mom, I was a helicopter mom. But after a while and after certain things happened, I realized that he is his own person. He is his own person and he's going to do what he wants to do. So what I do is I direct him. I allow him to make decisions. And when he gets off track, then okay, we're coming back and we're going down the path again. You know, so I kind of guide him as opposed to govern. Guide instead of govern. That's just the way that I have been parenting. And, you know, he's making, you know, mistakes and figuring his way. They all are. But I think that so far so good. You know, so far so good. But yeah, feminism, we need to let that go, ladies. In 2019, feminism needs to go all the way, because I think that's what really started a lot of this stuff, you know. Yeah, so that's the message, y'all. Woo! I got through it. I got through it. Yay, Miss Julie R. She said, love you, Mickey. Thank you for sharing. I've learned so much from you. Thank you. Thank you for watching, Miss Julie R. I appreciate that. But I don't know. I don't know why so many ladies are gung-ho and so fiercely holding on to feminism when it's not even serving you. When it's not even serving you. It's really not serving you to be a feminist. And then he was saying, you know, a lot of ladies say, oh, there's only men at the top and I have to work so hard. I have to work so hard to get to the top. But have you ever thought that maybe somebody else is supposed to be up there? Just saying, you know. Be present. Be present in your homes. Pay attention in your homes. If something is going on in your home, do not ignore it. Don't ignore when your children bring things to you. Don't ignore when your children start acting different. Be present with them. Be available for them. If your children want to talk, put your phone down. If your children want to engage with you and play a game with you, what does it hurt to play a game with you? You know, stop surfing the internet. There's only so much you can learn. Oh, I'm trying to level up. I got to do my... Stop. Go sit down. The more you push them away. Thank you, Miss Double R. The more you pushing like this, somebody else is pushing like this. And they can't come talk to mama because mama is so busy. Mama got to work. I don't want to stress her out. Mama has all this stuff going on. I hope she, you know, I don't want to stress her out. I don't want mama to worry about me. Or y'all have to be more present. Pay attention more. Pay attention. There's all kind of signs around us about what's coming. They basically made a documentary and said, nobody cares about little black girls, basically. That was it, basically. The gist of the whole thing is nobody really gives a rip about little black girls. So if you're not caring about them, if you have little black girls in your home, you should be caring about them. You should. If you have little black boys in your home, you should be caring about them. If you have little girls, period, in your home, you should be caring about them. You should be teaching them. You should be showing them. How you gonna level up, but your daughter knows nothing about leveling up? She knows nothing about making sure that she looks beautiful and making sure that, you know, she's polished, so that a predator will say, oh no, she values herself too much. He values himself too much. That's why I make sure that my sons know that they're valuable. I fill their heads with all kind of stuff so that they know they're valuable. They know they're cared for. Girls and boys need to know that they're valued. They need to know that they're loved. I had the conversation I had with my sons the other day, you know, yesterday. I was like, do you know that I would not even want to exist if something happened to you. If something happened to you and you could have prevented it. You see a brawl going on and you gonna run to the brawl, somebody starts shooting and then you get killed. No. You need to know that your life is so important, because even if you don't care about yourself, just know that I care about you. Talk to your children. Let them know you're important to me. Even if, we don't get to spend as much time as I'd like, and even if I'm not always available or you feel like I'm busy. Uh-oh, I'm buffering. It must be time to go. Anyway, I'm preaching. But just let your children know that they are important to you, that they matter to you, and what they say is important, how they feel is important. And just talk to them. Just get to know them. Be present in their lives. Go through their stuff. Don't allow your children to have privacy. Don't allow your children to be, somebody says mismaking predators on women and children because they want power and control over them. Yes, but these women would not, these predators would not even be targeting. They have a certain target. And they find weaknesses in girls. Some women that spoke were not victims. They weren't victims because they were able to use their own mind. They understood that their own thoughts were important. So you have to give this to your children. Let them know. Just because you're a child does not mean you have to be subject to an adult. If an adult is doing something that is harmful to you, speak up for yourself. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Give your children a voice. Make sure that they know that they're not weak. You are not weak. If a predator sees you and they see, oh, ain't nobody around her. If it's a little girl, she's just walking down the street by herself. No mom, no dad, no nothing. She's an easy target. If there's a woman in a wealthy area, big old hoop earrings, she got on, she got caterpillar eyebrows, and she got all her, green weave, and she got, barely got on eyeliner. He's gonna know you don't value yourself. You don't value yourself, so you're gonna be an easy target. Somebody with a whole bunch of acne scars didn't even take the time to try to cover it up, to try to be exemplary. You want to rise above the bottom. Oh, thank you, Miss Cassie, Miss Classy Lassie. You want to rise above the bottom. If not, it ain't even got to be to. Thank you, Miss CN. It doesn't even have to be because you want them to get rich men. It doesn't even have to be because you want them to. To look better than the next girl. You should be empowering your daughters because you know that the predators are going to go for the bottom feeders. The bottom feeders. They're grown women who are manipulated by men. Like I said, grown women are manipulated by men every day because you don't value yourself. Because you don't value yourself enough to say, you know what? I'm going to make myself presentable. I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to require more of people. I'm going to say, no, it is not okay for you to say mean and hateful things to me. It is not okay for you to, troll me on the internet. You have to empower yourself. And you have to empower your children. Now maybe some people will understand why they're blocked. It's nothing personal, but I know that I have to be operating in optimal working order. My mind has to be pristine. My mentality needs to be pristine, and I cannot allow anything or anybody to alter that. So I don't allow people who are being harmful to me. Speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. Tell people what's okay and what's not okay. When your children see you doing that, then they'll be able to do that for themselves. They'll be able to say, well, my teacher wanted me to stay after class, and it was just me and my teacher by ourselves. And man, heck no. My children already know. I need to let my mama know. Just little stuff like that. When they see you being empowered, then they will be empowered. They will be empowered when you do that. So just please, y'all, if you've been through something like this, you in here really cracking jokes, and I'm being so serious. You trolling. You lightweight trolling as I'm sitting here doing a real serious video. You, Mrs. Shira Star Goddess. But yeah, she's like my big sister. She'll take up for me in a heartbeat. She will take up for me in a heartbeat. And I appreciate her for that, because she knows I'm a little sensitive at times. So if somebody does say something about me, she's like, who said it? Who said something about you, Mickey? You know, but I appreciate that though. I do. I appreciate it. But y'all, I don't allow that. I don't, because I don't know. I just don't like people jabbing and all of that, you know. I don't. You're not gonna do me like that. You block. So that's why I'm that way. And I'm glad now. I'm glad I'm that way. For real. My page is not about how to get... See, that's the thing. People assume that... Well, never mind. Since your page is about how to get a wealthy man, I think it's important to separate the difference between wealthy and sick manipulators. Because if not, then it's just promoting an evil, rich ideology. So, well, first of all, my channel is not really how to get a wealthy man. I don't think that's the sole purpose of my channel. I do talk about that a lot because people know I'm knowledgeable about that. So I talk about that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. A person, a manipulator, cannot manipulate if he does not have somebody who is subject to be manipulated. Even if he's wealthy, even if he's a powerful man, he cannot manipulate you if you don't allow yourself to be manipulated. So that's why on my channel, I appreciate people who are, uh-oh, Lord, let me unblock her. I appreciate people who kind of understand where I'm going, basically. Because my channel isn't really solely about that. It's about empowerment. My channel is about empowerment. My channel is not about my zodiac sign. Thank you. It's not about my zodiac sign. But, yeah. Uh-oh, Lord. How did I keep blocking people. Let me stop. It's about empowerment is what it's about, for real. And so I try my best to empower women. If you can stop going to work, I did unblock her. Lord, y'all blocking people left and right. If I can empower a woman to take up for herself, to not put up with certain things, then there won't be any manipulators. They won't be, y'all know what I'm trying to say. If you empower yourself, nobody can manipulate you. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't be a victim if you empower yourself. You know, anybody could be a predator. A woman could get preyed on by another woman. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man. It could be another woman who is, you know, manipulating a woman. You know, thank you, Miss, thank you, virtuous one, because I didn't mean to block that girl. My bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to block you. I did it on accident, Jupiter. Sorry. He can't manipulate nobody if there's nobody subject to him. So think about that. Just like a narcissist. He can't be a narcissist with somebody who's not sitting there like, He's being so mean to me. Why can't he stop being mean to me? Why is he always treat me like this? How come he won't never love me? How come he won't be my best friend? He being so mean to me. He's gaslighting me. He's, you know, and everybody want to come up with all these psychology terms and all that. That's great. I'm glad that there are terms for that, so that when people go to therapy, they can understand and compartmentalize what's happening to them and give it a name. I'm grateful for that. But guess what? You have the ability to not be there. You have the ability to not be subject to that. Even if you don't feel like you have the ability. Just maybe me saying it to you or saying it and giving it would allow you to stop it, to say, you know what, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have to sit here and take this, you know. Somebody says, what about codependency? I used to be codependent. I did. I used to be codependent because I felt here's the thing. Codependency, narcissism, victimhood, all of that. People don't do these things unless there's a payoff. If there's not a payoff for you, you won't continue being a victim. If there's not something that is, people in your life are like, oh, it's okay, I understand you're with a narcissist, or some kind of benefit. If you're if you're like having bad thoughts and you're continuing to feed that by saying, oh, you know, well, this happened to me when I was younger, and so, you know, now my self-esteem is so low, and I just really want to fall in love so somebody can give me my self-esteem back. If you are not getting something out of being that way, then you would stop doing it. You would stop doing it. So people do, like Dr. Phil says, people do what works. People do what works. If it's not working for you, then you would stop doing it. And once I figured out that being codependent on anyone other than myself was futile, that I couldn't depend on anybody but myself, that's when my life, you know, went in a whole different direction, you know. So there's a lot of different, you know, medical terms that we can give to it. There's a lot of different ideas that you can place on being the victim or victimhood. But I would just offer that you don't have to do that. You don't have to be that way. You don't have to subject yourself to any sort of behavior that you don't want. Somebody just messaged me and said, I still can't comment in Shira's lives. So you can't comment on her live video, so you want to send me a DM about it. Anyway, y'all, you get it. You get it. You get it. I understand there's a time to be a victim. Some of those the stories that they told, I get it. It's understandable. It's understandable how they could have mental issues. I get it. It's understandable how he can have mental issues. I understand how they can have mental issues, and I understand how he can have mental issues. The whole story is just jacked up all the way around. But the thing is, after you've gone through that experience, after you have been there, after you've survived, now what? You know, now what? After, you know, all the pain and all of that, you have to find a way to get through the pain, first of all. If you can get through it, then you know there's something on the other side of it. What's on the other side of it is what you create. Are you going to attract other people into your life to help you continue this cycle of thought? Are you going to attract other people into your life that are going to make sure that you continue doing this? Or are you going to say, okay, I'm on the other side of this now. Now I need to start making a different choice for myself. You know, those are the only two options that you have. Continue going down that same road, or cut a new path and say, I don't even know what's over here, but I'm about to go see, because I know this right here is not it, you know? I know it's easier said than done. And like I said, I cannot relate to the stories that the lady shared. So please don't take this as me being insensitive or saying, you know, they need to hurry up and just get over it. And I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that maybe, you know, by me saying this, maybe it would help somebody to kind of get unstuck and to start living, you know. Yes, it's scary. The world is a scary place right now. It really, really is. It's scary. But what's the worst thing that can happen? You'll die. That's the worst. I don't think dying is so bad, you know. We've all got to do it. So why not live a little bit, you know? I talked to a lady the other day. She was scared to go outside. She was like, I don't really know, you know, because it's just more comfortable. She wouldn't say that she was scared to go outside, but she really was afraid to go outside because she was like, I'm just comfortable at home and I don't want to leave and blah, 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 blah. But she was afraid to go outside, you know, and I didn't discuss with her why. But when you get stuck there, maybe somebody listening to this will say, well, maybe I can go outside today. You know, maybe I can try to look better. Maybe I can try to work on my looks a little bit more. Maybe I can, you know, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe it's helpful to somebody. That's all I'm saying. Maybe it's helpful. Maybe my words can help somebody. So I don't mean them in an insensitive way. I just mean them to maybe be helpful to somebody who went through something like that or is going through something like that. You always have a choice. There's no fear in Jesus. Who is Cindy Rose, baby? Yes, there's no fear in Jesus. Y'all follow Jesus and follow Cindy. But maybe it can help somebody. That's all. That's all. Some people need to take care of their mental health before they pursue a wealthy man. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, you out here assuming all men are dogs. Oh my God, I hate all men. You didn't watch the R. Kelly documentary. Now you sad at home and you can't even figure out, you know, oh my God, is every man in my life like this? Oh my God, is he a pedophile? And you know, you're projecting all your fears onto other people. Who is Angela? What'd she say that was so great? You know, you're projecting all of your fears onto other people, but you really, really, really need to think. Think. What is in me that's making me think this about people? Maybe I should heal this part. Maybe I need to get over some stuff and work through some stuff so that I can attract what I want, so that I can receive what I want. When you crazy like that and your mental is messed up, people know. People know. If you're scared to go outside, there's something wrong with that. For real, for real. If you are trying to keep your children in a bubble like this because of something that happened to you, that's not normal. If you are, you know, drilling in your daughter's head that no man is good and don't you ever, you know, rely on a man because you relied on a man and he hurt you, that's not normal. If you project your fears onto somebody else, that's not normal, especially if you do that to your children. Thank you, Miss Chanel says, Happy New Year, Mickey. Thank you so much for your knowledge. You look stunning as always, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. This is sugar skulls, 2 little sugar skulls, and it says, live in the moment. Live in the moment. Yeah. So, yeah. Just get help. If you need help, get help. If you need meds, get meds. Stop trying to be so independent and I should be able to handle all this and juggling all these balls that you're not able to function. You know, you're not able to live your life. If you need meds, go get them. If you need help, go get it. Now they have all kind of hotlines and stuff that you can call if you need help, but just do it. If not for yourself, do it for your children. A lot of us are mothers, you know. Just seek the help that you need. There you go. So that's the message, ladies. Does anybody have any questions? Muhammad says, I will sub to you if you convert. Really? Okay. So I didn't want to make this a whole, you know, male bashing video or whatever. I wanted to make this an empowering video for you guys, for women. You know, and just say that you can be you can be your own advocate. Like I said in a couple of videos ago, you are the person that you've been waiting on. If you're waiting for a savior, you're waiting for a sign. Lord, show me a sign. Should I leave him? Should I leave him? If you feel like you need to leave, then leave. If you feel like you're in a bad situation, leave. If you feel like something is happening to one of your children, seek help. Seek help. Seek help. Don't ignore your children. Don't miscount what they say to you. Put your needs before other people. And you can't lose that way. You can't lose. So in 2019, we are going to be empowered. We are going to take our power back. If you don't feel like you have the power to change your life, maybe listening to the sound of my voice will let you know that you do have the power to change your life. You have the power to change your life, and you have the power to change the lives of your children. As a mother, it is our responsibility to be available to them and to teach them and to show them how to live and how to navigate the world. If you are not actively teaching your children, you are setting them up for predators. You're setting them up to be hurt, painfully hurt, and, you know, at the end of the day, they won't know. They won't know because you haven't been teaching them. So if you have not been teaching them, then you should start teaching them. You may have been making mistakes. You know, maybe it's a mistake that you've stayed as long as you've stayed. Maybe it's a mistake that you haven't leveled up the way you know you should have. It's a mistake that you keep overeating, but you need to deal with the reason why you're overeating. If you are, you know, 100, 200, 300 pounds overweight, there's a reason for that. Stop stuffing it and start uncovering it. Yes, it's painful, but nobody ever died from tears. Ask me how I know, baby. Nobody ever died from tears. Nobody ever died from digging up their junk and dealing with it. Nobody did. So maybe some people did, but it's okay. After you get through crying and digging up your stuff and, oh, well, this happened to me, so that's the reason why I overeat, then you will have freedom to move forward and change your story. Your story doesn't have to be, oh, you know, that's Kim from down the block. You know, Fat Kim. That doesn't have to be your story. Your story doesn't have to be, oh, you know, light-skinned Tasha, she'll sleep with anybody. Your story doesn't have to be, oh, I was, you know, things were done to me as a child, you know, horrible things. That doesn't have to be your story. Your story could be, I'm jet setting all over the world. Your story could be, you know, my children are, you know, healthy and happy and whole because I'm actively participating in their lives and teaching them and helping them. You can change your story, you know. So try. I hope that was helpful. Yep. So there you go. That's the message. Happy Sunday. I've preached long enough. That's the message. I hope you guys gained a lot from this video. I appreciate you for listening. But yes, this is going to be the one and only time we talk about this, because this was something. This was something today. You know, there's a time for everything, and the time is now. So instead of burying what's in front of us, I think it's wise to look at what's in front of us and act accordingly. And one last thing before I go. To the moms, be vigilant, be vigilant, be vigilant. Always be vigilant. Pay attention to your children. Pay attention to what's going on with them, because a lot of times you may be their only advocate. So pay attention to them. Love them. Talk to them. Interact with them. Some of the stuff you hear may be painful, but it's only going to help you and help your children. So just pay attention as much as you possibly can. What's more important? Your job, your work, or your babies, you know, or yourself, So I'm Michaela Pink, and that's what I think. Bye.